There is a soft whisper in the marble halls of Goldman Sachs that starts the story. Once a whisper, it's now a full-on roar through the halls of Wall Street. People used to think of XRP as a speculative cryptocurrency, but now the world's most important investors are talking about it behind closed doors. Several private reports say that Goldman Sachs's very wealthy clients, billionaires, family offices, and institutional giants, are moving their money at a speed that hasn't been seen since the 2008 financial crisis. This time, though, it's not a rush to gold, stocks, or even dollars. People are racing to get XRP. Some people inside the bank are calling this the first digital bank run in the history of modern banking. Music. It all started out innocently enough. A small group of clients want to trade XRP over the counter, but they don't want to make waves in the market. Soon, though, those small private requests turned into frantic calls, meetings late at night, and notes that had to be sent right away. One source told a reporter off the record, "Our clients are panic buying XRP. They don't care about price. They only want to get in before the news comes out." That one quote caused a huge stir online, and social media went crazy. What could make the biggest investors in the world rush to buy a cryptocurrency that was once called a banker's coin? What do they see that other people don't? You need to know when the fear happened in order to understand it. Talks of a coming financial restart have become louder over the past few months. Large banks, central banks, and other global financial institutions have been trying the XRP ledger for cross-border settlement in the background. There are rumors that the Federal Reserve is adding Ripple's technology to the next part of its liquidity network. This could completely change how money moves around the world. This is both a threat and a chance for Goldman Sachs's most important clients. If the money system is moving to blockchain and XRP is at the center of it, then keeping traditional assets might soon feel like holding on to sand as the tide goes out. Behind the scenes, things were getting pretty crazy. Traders at Goldman Sachs were having trouble getting cash because the OTC desks were empty, according to internal emails. The private stock of XRP that could be bought by a lot of people was running out faster than anyone thought. A business leader is said to have said it was like a digital gold rush, but the gold is almost gone. Some customers were even willing to pay 15 to 20% more than the market price just to get an allocation before what sources are calling phase 2 of the institutional rollout. People weren't afraid that XRP would lose value. People were afraid that access could be completely cut off once regulatory clearance comes through and major guardians secure their roles. So what's with the $30,000? Why are people talking about that target? It all comes down to how the supply changes and some math about institutions. Goldman experts started to think of XRP as a global liquidity asset that could replace Nostra Vostro accounts and those cross-border settlement systems. This made the price of XRP skyrocket because it could back trillions of dollars worth of transactions. Even a very small amount of the world's liquidity pool moving through its ledger could make prices go through the roof. That, along with the fact that there are a fixed quantity of 100 billion tokens, most of which are already locked or held, makes for a pretty shocking picture. One insider said that each XRP was worth $30,000 when overall settlement demand and speed are taken into account. Isn't just a joke, it's math. Music. The top really got excited about this story, but what really made people scared was a rumor that Ripple had secretly made deals with several central banks that would make XRP an official global payment bridge asset. Sources in Europe and the Middle East say that these deals could be made public any day now, but the specifics are still being kept secret. For those big investors, that only means one thing. The chance to make money is running out. Once that public announcement goes out, there will be no more liquidity, and only central banks will be able to enter the market over the counter. As always, Goldman's clients seem to be well ahead of the curve and in front of that event. How things are in Goldman's private wealth business. It turned electric. When meetings used to be calm and planned, they turned into strategic war rooms. Clients wanted to know about their XRP positions every day. Traders were working together with Ripple's institutional partners in Singapore, Dubai, and London to make sure those large moves went through. A seasoned banker said, It's the most modern bank run-like thing I've ever seen. Everyone is taking out cash, but they are all buying the same thing. And that gentleman would not hesitate to add that the product in question is digital. At the same time, the big business news outlets started to notice. Both CNBC and Bloomberg began showing subtle pieces about, the change in digital liquidity. Interestingly, they didn't say the name of XRP. For analysts, it was seen as a move towards settlement methods based on tokens. The experts knew better, though. Nearly every word in the reports was the same as in Ripple's pilot projects. The institutions didn't reject XRP's role. That much was clear. They played it down and controlled the story to keep people from rushing to the stores. Music. Still, the truth always finds a way to come out. Documents from Ripple's institutional section that were leaked showed that the company has partnerships with at least 6 Tier 1 banks, 3 of which have been Goldman clients for a long time. When you add in the quick rise in the amount of XRP traded across dark pools and over-the-counter OTC desks, the picture is clear. The world's wealthiest people are repositioning in a quiet, serious, and planned way. Retail buyers, on the other hand, don't know much about this because they are too busy dealing with short-term market noise and price changes. The real game is going on far above them in secret boardrooms and encrypted chat groups where decisions worth billions of dollars are made. This is happening while social media influencers argue about whether XRP will hit $2 or $5. As one source put it, it was simple. It will be too late by the time they tell everyone. That's what makes this story so strong. It's not just about XRP, It's about how the rich and powerful think and feel. What role fear, greed, and insider information play in shaping the world's banking system. It's about what happens when people who control institutions start to lose faith in them and look for safety in a decentralized record. Rich people ran away to Swiss banks, gold boxes, and offshore accounts for decades to keep their money safe. They are now running away into code, into the unchangeable lines of blockchain, and XRP is their choice of lifeboat.